welcome back to Valkyrie's Art Corner. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell for notification of my new video. Okay, we're kind of going back to a throwback of how I used to kind of do the videos and everything like that. And I kind of forgot about this a little bit, to be honest, but we're going to do a Halloween type picture. It's a day pass, so it still counts. So the colors we're going to be using today is this crimson color right here, along with the white right there, and this black color right here. So we're going to combine those together to kind of make like a pink color. So it's going to be kind of like a pink sunset. So while I'm painting, I'm just going to let everyone know I'm still going to do digital artwork and stuff like that in videos and post it to my YouTube and stuff like that. But I'm going to kind of go back a little bit to the throwback of how I used to do things a little bit. Seeing as I've actually had a few people comment, not necessarily on YouTube, but on Twitch and stuff like that, that they kind of like my old format better than what I was currently doing. So I'm going to kind of go back to how I was doing things a little bit to kind of go back to where the original fan base was and everything like that. So that's just a little FYI. So what I'm doing here is, sorry, it's mixing in a little bit more crimson with the white to kind of get more of like a reddish pink. This is going to be the top part of the sunset, where it gets darkest up top, and then where the sun is, it gets lighter toward the bottom. I'm using a squared brush so that way I can just kind of cover my canvas a little bit and get all this painted in. Also, you'll be noticing that I'm not speeding this up since it's a relatively short painting. This is an 8x10 canvas, so it's relatively small compared to the 16x20s that I normally do it on, so it's gonna go by really quick. So yeah. Also, if you have any suggestions of any other paintings you would like me to see, or even drawings, I'll be more than happy to take those requests and make those a tutorial for you to show you how to draw, so that way you can attempt to do it yourself. And then you can find me on my Facebook group, Valkyrie's Art Corner. I also have a Twitch, which is Valkyries with an S at the end, and then a capital A, capital C. It's a shortened version of Art Corner. But you can find me on Twitch if you want to see me do more lives, have a little bit more relaxed stream and everything like that. So, yeah. So you're going to pretty much do this painting all the way down, like you would a regular sunset. Now this one, I didn't have really any rhyme or reason as to why I did it. It just is more, just a kind of on the spur of the moment. Again, like I said, I kind of forgot about it and I was going to edit it and everything like that. But since I was looking through my phone to get like different ideas and stuff like that, I happened to see it again. So it's a day after, or a day or two after Halloween. So it's just, yeah, I just figured I'd get this out there. But I will be doing more holiday themed artwork getting ready to come up, even on digital. If you'd like to see some digital tutorials, please let me know in the comments below. I will be more than happy to do whatever tutorials you'd like me to do. And see, also you can check on here that I'm gradually just going lighter and lighter and lighter. So that just means add more white, add more white, add more white. And then just keep brushing. And then just dragging the white up there to gradually just blend in. So also what we're going to kind of be doing on this painting is a wet on wet technique, to where the paint is still wet, so we're just kind of manipulating it and everything like that. So that way we can kind of get the desired effect. And then just continue to make sure you have long strokes across the canvas. That way you don't leave any, like you could tell when the brush stops. As I've said in my other videos and stuff like that, you could tell when the brush actually stops on the canvas. So you'll need to either blend in or drag it all the way across to make sure the brush lines actually disappear with the painting. What I'm kind of doing here is I had hair on my canvas, so I'm trying to knock it off a little bit while trying to blend in at the same time. And we're just going to finish off down here a little bit. And then, yeah. And then you just kind of go back and touch it up where you think you would like it and everything like that. But this painting is going to be an off-sunset silhouette. So you're not going to really have any great detail. That's why it didn't take too long to paint, because silhouettes and stuff like that typically don't take very long to do, unless you're doing a lot of detail in the background and then having a silhouette in the foreground, which seems to be quite popular. And then it's the reverse as well. So what I'm doing here is I'm setting out some black to start into the silhouette. My canvas is still wet, so I'm just going to kind of start outlining here where I want my silhouette to go. And in this case, I'm actually making a hill. But as you can tell, since the white is still wet, it's actually mixing in with the black and turning it gray. So, yep. And then you just do this until you fill it in. You can go however dark or light that you'd like. Personally, when I do my silhouettes, I don't like to do kind of like any off tones or anything like that. But since I decided to jump into this with a wet canvas, I'm going to have to work with whatever I've got. So. And so right now I'm just currently layering the black on top to get it darker and darker and darker each time. And I just kind of want to go right here and try to make that as dark as possible. I considered just letting it dry and then painting on top of it, but I was just like, yeah, whatever. I feel like just going straight through it and kind of just pummeling through it. And then plus with the pink tone in the back and the red tones and stuff like that, it makes it look really cool. Those kind of colors do really well with black. Any color really is good with black unless you're using black. And then you're not really going to see anything. But yeah, at this point in time, I actually just decided to let it dry and then paint it. Thus the quick transition to black. And now I am just taking my brush and just adding in some details. Right here with the tree, you'll want to press hard toward the bottom and then lighter toward the top to get a thick base. I've actually recently helped somebody who was having a severe issue with trees. He'd make them kind of thin in the middle, thick on the top, thick on the bottom, and then sometimes it was thin on the bottom, thick on the top. And you don't want to do that. Trees are naturally thicker on the bottom, and then you make your way up where it's going to be kind of like, it looks bigger than the trunk, but it's just a bunch of smaller branches and stuff like that, so it evens itself out. And also he was using a fan brush for the leaves, and that's a huge no. You don't use fan brushes for leaves. For smaller details like this, you want to go with a more stippling effect for the trees and stuff like that, because it gives it more of a leafy kind of feel and everything like that. So also what I'm currently doing right now is painting a fence that leads up the hill. So yeah, you just draw some lines just to kind of emphasize there's an outline of other stuff there, but you know it's there, but you can't really see the detail of it. So now what I'm doing is actually getting into the base of the more spooky type house right here. And I'm starting with a half circle and then just kind of adding on. This was actually a painting I found on Pinterest, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna try to do a video on that and see how I could do that. So yeah, Pinterest actually has a lot of great ideas and stuff like that, especially little projects you can do with family and stuff like that. And this kind of a painting right here would be super easy to do with kids, or if you're a beginner artist that doesn't really know how to draw, or has more interest in painting and stuff like that. A lot of these are really good beginner stuff, especially in my other videos. I know my stuff looks a little bit more advanced, but that's just my style and technique. However, you can make it however you want, because it's art. All right, so I made a little whistle over here, and then now I'm just adding random towers and stuff just to kind of make it look like a spooky silhouette coming in the background. And then here's the top of the building right here. So it's kind of off center because we wanted to make it look, yeah, you get the picture. Excuse me, I had something caught in my throat. Anyway, so yeah, we're just continuing on right here. And just add on. You can, at this point in time, you can kind of just do whatever you want with it to make it look however you like. It could have even been like, you could have gone with some blue tones or anything like that and make it look like a cottage up on the hill, or you could even do a silhouetted Christmas picture, which I am highly considering doing. Like I said, when the holidays start getting closer, I'm a firm believer, don't do Christmas before you actually need to do Christmas, because that's kind of because we just kind of came out of Halloween, so we don't want to jump into Christmas and skip Thanksgiving. So yeah, so I'm just doing like this long shoot here, adding in some other decorations, and just kind of adding. At this point in time, like I said, you guys can kind of like do your own interpretation of it. You don't have to follow exactly. Mine's just more of like a base point to kind of get you going where you're going. And then I'm going to add another part of the fence down here. So I would think more so this is railings that lead down with the steps from this house, but yeah, it's whatever. You can make it what you want to be. It's your imagination. And then I'm gonna add another tree here. As you can tell, I'm kind of doing a light stippling to where the brushes bristles will spread out to give it more of a clustered leaf effect. And then just adding random branches and stuff like that. And now I'm just going back into it at this point, just kind of touching up where I think it needs to be darker or anything like that. But after I do that, I'm going to add a little bit more to this painting. You could be done at this point if you really wanted to, but I'm going to take it a step further and add some more stuff to it. So what I'm currently doing right here is adding in a crescent moon. It doesn't have to be perfect because, yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's your painting. So I'm just going to keep going and just keep adding on until I get the desired moon shape that I'd like. And you don't have to go super realistic on it either. In a silhouette painting, the moon would not be silhouetted out, but yeah. I decided to do that, and I'm going to touch that up to kind of, like I said, just kind of give it like a spooky effect, but it's going to be more cutesy Halloween kind of thing. And then let's see, add a little bit more black here. And then what I'm doing is just kind of making my bristles a little bit more wet because it started drying out a little bit. So I didn't want that. So now I'm just going to change to a smaller brush as well after rinsing the other one out. And what I'm going to paint here is a silhouette of a cat sitting on the moon. And draw a curly little tail. And I need to add more detail into this cat. Make him a little bit bigger. His tail was too big compared to what his actual body was. And then add in the little ears. Right up there. Perfect. And and then just straightening out some lines, because sometimes when the brush runs out of a little bit of liquid or anything like that and it starts to dry, yeah, you just gotta kind of go back. And then what I'm gonna do over here is I'm gonna do like these, they're like birds, but I'm drawing more bats up there in the corner because this is about the time that the bats would start to come out. So I'm just adding that in for a spook factor. Also, key thing here, and I know a lot of new artists do it, when you just paint something, do not put your arm down on the canvas to balance out. You're gonna have to learn to paint with the tip of your paintbrush, or at least your arm hovering over the painting. You do not want to put your arm down in the painting, otherwise you're gonna pull back and get black paint all over your arm. You don't know how many times I've done that, and I keep forgetting to say that in my videos. Please, 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 if you've got wet paint down, learn to elevate your arm and try to do it that way, because right now I'm currently hovering over the painting and my arm is not touching the painting. So you'll want to avoid that. Otherwise, you're just going to end up going back over and touching up what your arm touched. Or if you don't realize it, you go to scoot your arm up, you've just smeared everything on your painting, and you have one of two options. You can either start over or try to touch it up. And I believe I'm finished, and this is the finished product. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day.